everyone, this is our last video of the Handmade Holidays series. So tonight we're going to do some fun little florals, but I'm going to do a little recap and show the things that we've done so far, and I'm going to make sure I can see myself here. Okay. I'm also going to go ahead and put a link here for the creative community, and I'm on the Facebook version of this live. My creative community closes tonight, and if you have questions about that membership, then you can, of course, ask questions while I'm here live with you. And this group is a little bit different from other painting memberships in that I don't just teach painting. I also have a full library of art business videos. And they're not all videos, but tutorials teaching. And it's kind of a combination of the two. Hi, Peggy. Hi, Leah. So those of you who are, you don't have to be at a point where you're wanting to sell your work yet. But if you are, then this will be the perfect place for you, because we encourage creativity and originality. I've started doing some things that help with your mindset, because that is one of the keys to keeping up with an online business. You've got to get your head straight, and encouragement and inspiration to just keep going. Because if you're doing this, if you're trying to sell your artwork online, the real key to it is consistency and being able to just keep going even when you want to quit. So being in an environment that is keeping you motivated is going to help you more than anything else. And that's what my wish is for anyone who's coming into the membership and all of you who are there. So tonight is going to be the last night to register for that. Of course, I have other tutorials. I have the creative club. There are other ways for you to learn how to paint from my website and classes that are online. But this is the only place where I combine the creativity with business help. So I just wanted to go ahead and tell you guys about that before we get started. And I can answer your questions as I am working on the paintings that we're going to do tonight. So I'm going to check over on YouTube real quick, make sure that I'm there and that you can see me. Should be. Go to my channel. Because I don't see it. I don't know. It may not be there, but I know I'm on Facebook, so that's okay. I can use this video and put it on YouTube later if I need to. Okay. Hi, Deborah and Terry. I'm glad you all are here. So this week, so far, we have done some ornaments, and you can go back and watch the videos for these if you want to. This was my sample ornament, and this was the one that we actually painted. And so this is video 1 of 3 where we did this. And then on Tuesday night, we did a little sculpture, and he's dry now, or she, except for the very bottom. You can see this is still a gray color, but when this dries, it turns white like this. And so he or she is ready to paint, and I think I'm going to paint her tomorrow on my video for the creative community. So if you're a creative community member, we're going to have our live question and answer time tomorrow at noon Central Time. I sent your email out, and we're going to paint this, and it should be completely dry by then. So that's what we'll do, and I'll answer your questions in the creative community. Someone also requested that I show these little girls again, because last time it was hard to see because it was really washed out. I had my lighting all wonky. But this was one that I did. You can see her face a little close up. And this was another one. We didn't do these on a video. I was just showing you how to do these. This one I did a little fix on because one of the flowers had broken. And if you can see that, I don't know. It's kind of hard to do this. Maybe the light is better this way. Okay. One of these flowers was broken, and I patched it in our video on Tuesday night. So on video 2 of this series, you can learn more about using clay and sculpting. So let's see. Deborah said, I had fun making mine this morning. Can't wait to paint it tomorrow. That is awesome. So tonight, what I plan to do is I've got these 2 small canvases and one little canvas that is a magnet. So these would make super fun little stocking stuffers, or like if you're going to a ornament exchange, or even any kind of party where you exchange gifts. Painting some little florals on something like this would be super fun and a pretty little gift that you could package up for someone. They also make these cute little easels. I got these. They come in a pack. Got these at Michael's. And so you could pair that with your little canvas and make a really cute little gift. And I'm going to paint all 3 of these at the same time. So I'm going to show you how you can do this in a batch. You can do something that you're painting that's kind of similar as far as like flowers or something like that, or bird nests or little landscapes. If you get out several canvases and work on several of them at the same time, you can get a lot done. So if you have an online shop, or if you are, I don't know, you're getting ready for a craft show or something like that, if you do things in a batch like this, it will help you to really produce a lot of inventory in a short period of time. So that's what we're going to do tonight. We are going to paint some little flowers. So I'm going to turn my camera around. Hang on. I'm going to try it differently this time than I did the other night, which may be worse. I don't know. Okay. Try to make it a little quicker. All right, so we've got these three little canvases here. I'm going to move my chair. I have to stand up for this for some reason. Okay. And what I had in mind was doing some flowers that are going to be on a dark background with some light flowers. So I'm going to start with some Indian yellow. And that's going to be, I thought I was going to start with Indian yellow. It's kind of clogged. Hang on. There we go. That's going to be our background color. Just to get us started. And I'm going to wet my brush a little bit. And I'm doing this because it's an underpainting. It's a color underneath. that is going to really make our light and bright flowers show up, almost glow. Okay, so see how quick that was? I just did all three at the same time. I'm going to flip over, see if you guys are talking to me. Leah says, I love making mini canvases. It's going to be fun. It's always fun to do that. Anything little is super cute anyway. It just makes it cute and fun to do small things. Okay, so next, I'm going to map out where my flowers are going to live. I'm going to use a smaller brush for this. Let's see. I may use this angled brush and this flat one too. I'm going to start with, I'll start with the angled one. And I think I will use some sap green. And for this, I didn't give you guys a list of supplies because I want you to use what you have. I don't want to think you've got to follow this exactly the way that I'm doing it. I'm just giving you ideas as a jumping off point, something that you can use to get started. So I'm going to put one flower here, one here, a little one here, and then we'll do like some little buds or tulip or whatever you want to call that right here. So I'm just going to do the exact same thing on this one. And then I'm going to do a little smaller one here. Okay. And now that I've got that put down, I can go in and put down my background. And for my background, I'm going to use Payne's Gray, which is a really dark blue. It's almost like a navy blue. And I'm going to mix in a little bit of white. Not very much, but a little bit. I'm just going to go ahead and go around my flowers. These can be done really quickly too because they're so small. And you can put in all kinds of fun details with your flowers. And it can just be so cute. Grab a little more white. So if you don't have Payne's Gray, you could use black, you could use dark brown, you could just use any darker color for your background and it will work. That's not supposed to be a thing right there. All right, and now we're going to move to this one. Okay, that was super fast. And I'll probably come back and add some more darker areas later on. Okay, so now that we've got our background in there, I'll rinse out my brush a little. I'm going to come and take a smaller flat brush and I'm going to use a little bit of, I need some burnt sienna. Hang on just a second. It's going to be this color here. And that's going to be what I use. Oops, I have not opened this one yet. That's what I'm going to use for the center of my flowers. So I'm going to grab some and I'm going to find the middle of what each flower is going to be. Okay. And now I'm going to mix in some white, a good bit of white. Just get myself a sort of a cream color. And we're going to use a big chunk of that on our brush. Start going around the center of that flower. We'll do the same on this one. And on these little tiny ones. And some of that gray in the background is mixing in, but it's okay because it's just going to give it some depth. Okay. Now, these flowers here, I want them to be sort of like a tulip. So I'm going to do just a little shape like that. Okay. I'm going to wipe some of that extra paint off. And I'm going to come in with a little more of this burnt sienna. And the colors that I'm using, like I said, you don't have to use these colors. You can use whatever colors you want to use. But you could swap these out and make your background just as long as the background is something dark and the center of your flower is also something dark, then you can come in and do this with any color. So I'm just using this same burnt sienna that I used for the center, and I'm coming in with some little swipes of a darker color. That's going to give some more depth in there. And value. Value is super important. Who can tell me in the comments what value is? Okay, so for this, I'm going to do just a little swipe down the middle. Patricia, send us an email and we will check on that for you. I don't know if I can't tell if you're in the creative community or not without looking that up. So send us an email and we will check on that for you. So of course with these little ones, you gotta use some smaller swipes. And sometimes you may have to wipe some of that excess off to get your brush a little more chiseled. Hi, Barbara. I'm so glad you're here. Okay, so now we've got some depth going on here. So you can see I've got some white and some of the burnt sienna, and then some of this yellow is peeking through here. But now I'm going to take even more white, and we're going to make some more really light spots. And you just repeat the same thing on all of your little canvases. Each flower is going to be a little bit different, but your method and your technique is being repeated, and that makes it easier for you to just make a lot of something all at once. This would be really helpful if you're doing something like ornaments. You could turn these little canvases into ornaments. Just glue some sort of ribbon or a hanger of some sort on the back. This one here is a little magnet, so it could go on the refrigerator. Okay, now let's move and do some little spots of greenery. So I've still got, let me move my palette over a little so you can see it. I've still got some white on my brush, and I'm just gonna grab some green, and we're gonna put in some swipes of that green. Let's just do a few like this, maybe something coming down like that. And then we'll repeat it over here. And I'm going to come back with my dark background and go over it again. And see, this one, the tulip is a little bit farther away, so I'm gonna give it a stem, a little bit of a stem there. And this one doesn't have quite as much room for greenery, so we're just gonna make a few little small spots. Okay, I'm gonna wipe my brush just a little, and we're gonna let's do some little blue, cute little flowers. So I've got, that's manganese blue and some white. And that gives you such a really pretty, brilliant blue color. I love it. So let's go like, I don't know, right up here and just tap some little blue spots. Maybe there and some down here. You may have to do it a little differently on each one depending on what your space is. I'm going to do some right here. Maybe a couple things right here. And see, like on this one, I don't have quite as much room in the same spot, so I'm just going to switch it up and put it over here. So they don't need to be exactly the same. The key to it is the fact that you're just doing them at the same time, and it's going to save you some time to create these things in bulk. All right, and this one, I'm just going to put some right there. Okay. Now let's do some leaves that are going to complement this center color here, which was burnt sienna. I love making these little leaves that are kind of airy. So I'm going to get some burnt sienna and some white. And let's do something like this. Maybe a few over here. Just something like that. And then on this one, I'm going to have to do it differently because just the space is different. I'm going to try doing one like right here. And maybe something coming out right there. And of course, this one's going to have to be super tiny. You may not have room for very much on it if you're doing something that small. Okay, now let's go back with our background color, and we're going to just sharpen it up a little bit. Check and see if you guys are asking me any questions. Where did you find the canvas magnets? These were probably at Michael's. I've had them for a really long time. But it's just a little piece of canvas that's glued on top of the whole back is a magnet. And so that's where I got those. Okay. And just like every other night, sometimes I can see comments really well and sometimes I can't. So I may have to come back and look and see if you're asking me something or if you're talking to me and I can't see it, I apologize. But when I'm doing this live on my streaming program, it's a little bit different. So I can only see like I can only see 3 comments at a time on my Facebook page when I'm doing this. So I'm not ignoring you. I just can't see you. But I'll come back and answer your questions if I need to afterwards. So I'm just going to sharpen up some of the edges and add in a little darkened area here and there if I need to. And at this point, you could also go in and do the sides because that is the part that I always leave off until the end. And sometimes I forget what color I used on my painting. And when it's time to go back and paint those sides, I have to think about it too hard. So go ahead and paint the sides of your canvas while you're working on your painting. That will save you a lot of stress later on. So when you're doing this part here, if, like, for example, if I wanted to make this a little smaller as far as that green leaf goes, I can just cut into it with my dark blue, and it shapes it up a little. Same for your flowers. If you want to just make them a little smaller, you can do that. Teresa said, did you add white to the Payne's Gray during the final touch-up, or is it straight Payne's Gray? It's straight Payne's Gray. But you can do it however you want to do it. The main purpose of this lesson is to show you how quickly you could paint 3 little paintings and do it in like a little batch like this. You could also go back and watch our video from Monday night and use the tutorial for this and create a batch of those. You can change those colors and make them fit your taste also. If you want to use more of a pink and not so much of a brown for your flowers, you can definitely make it your own. Okay, move that over. Then this one. And once you get this background really sharpened up, you can go back and add some lighter highlights to your flowers and your leaves and really make them stand out even more against the background that you put in. We'll separate that one and make it a leaf by itself. So see, I haven't done the sides. That's the boring part, so I won't make you watch me do that. I don't like doing it anyway. Leah says Walmart has, that may be where I got them. I may have gotten these little magnets at Walmart. That is very possible, but it's been a long time since I did it, so I don't remember. Okay, so let's go back now. I'm going to take a look. One thing I don't like is when I have the center of a flower completely round. So I may go in there and get it a little messy and scribbly. It just looks more realistic when it's not quite so circular. All right, and I'm going to darken some of my leaves. And my center of this little tulip is kind of missing now, so I'm going to go back and put that in. Let's darken some of these a little bit and shape those up. Okay. And I need some whiter spots in these blue flowers myself, so just take a little bit and tap it in there. Just adding that little bit of bright white just really makes it glow. If you save your brightest whites for last, it will make a huge difference. Most of the time when you paint a white flower, it's not really white. It's a whole lot of colors that are pretty muted, and then some white at the very end. I actually got a little bit of blue in this, which I like, so I'm going to add some more. When you're making shadows on your anything that's white, using a little bit of blue or a little bit of purple will instantly give it a little glow. I don't want to do too much on this one because it's so small. Okay. Now I want to do some little tiny details. Let's see. Thanks, everybody. Barbara says, I know you've told us before, but I did not see it in my notes. So what would you use to write something on the ornament? To write something like as far as lettering, you could use a Posca pen, which is it's an acrylic paint pen. That would work really, really well. Okay, so I'm going to get a even smaller brush. I'm going to use a teeny tiny one, and I'm just going to make some little leaves with some green and some white, and maybe a little bit of this blue. So it's going to kind of make an aqua color. So I'm just going to do something like this. I think I need some more white. Hang on. Can you see that? I know it's really small. So just maybe in some of these spots where it's kind of empty, you can just put in just some tiny little leaves. And all these little bitty details are what kind of add up and make it come to life. Okay, so there's that one. Let's put some little tiny ones on this one too. So if you're working with a dark area, just pick up some really light color. And if you want to put something down on a lighter spot, then darken it a little bit. Let's put something right here. think I need something like right in here. Okay, so we've got these two. Now this one, I'm gonna have to get really small with it. But one of the great things about painting so small is you don't have to have a lot of detail, and it still looks really realistic. Here are our three little, very similar little florals. And don't forget to sign your name on there. I forget to do that sometimes. And they came together pretty quickly. Let's see if I can sign these. Maybe I can. At least one of them. I don't know about this one. Kind of looks like my name, but not really. Okay. So, of course, I need to finish the sides of these, but I'm just going to give you a little peek at all the things that we've made this week. We've got these ornaments. And then, of course, we have our little bird sculpture. Just going to be kind of hard for me to show you like this, but do it like this. So that's the base that we did. And we painted this ornament on Monday night, and we created this little sculpture on Tuesday night. We skipped last night, but then we made these tonight. And so it took us about 45 minutes to make 3 gifts, which is very good time. And you could do, like I said, something like this ribbon. You could just hot glue it on the back of these little canvases, or put the little canvas on one of these little easels, which will be super cute. And these are just kind of self-explanatory. They are magnets. They stick to anything metal. So I hope that you guys have learned some new things, and thank you for being here. Thank you, Sue and Barbara and Amy. And this is going to be the last of my free videos for the year. Of course, I've always got tutorials on my website if you're interested in learning how to paint. But like I said, tonight is the last night to join my creative community, which is creativity plus business. And those of you who are interested in joining us, I have put the link in once. I'll go ahead and do that again and let you guys get over there if you're interested in doing that. Do you have any questions about painting or the creative community? Because now's the time to ask. I'm going to try to turn my camera around. See if I can do it without making somebody sick. Okay. There we go. I did it. So this little guy, like I said, this little sculpture that we made last night, if you're not in the creative community, then I'll just give you some little tips about how to paint him. But I'm going to actually paint this one tomorrow when we're doing our question and answer time. But for clay, what I've done is just paint this just like I would a canvas. If you want to do an underpainting, you can start with a certain color. If you want it to look kind of grungy, you can start with a dark brown and then paint on top of that. If you want it to really like have a glow, then you could start with something like that Indian yellow that we did tonight. And then paint layers on top of those. So for this little bird here, for example, I started out with dark brown and then I layered some other color on top of that. And then once it's finished and you're finished painting it, you can varnish it just like you would a painting with your acrylic varnish, whatever you have on hand. So that's what we're going to do tomorrow. If you're a creative community member and you have questions for me for our Q&A tomorrow, I sent you an email yesterday, I believe, and you can reply to that and send in to submit your questions ahead of time. If not, you can just show up during the live tomorrow, and we'll get your questions answered. Okay, Dorothy says, is the painting library the same as the business library? No. So I had someone who has been they had to leave the membership for a couple of months, and she just rejoined yesterday, and she was so excited because she said everything looks completely different. There's so much stuff here that wasn't here before, and I've only been gone for a couple of months. So I've put a lot of new information. It's completely reorganized. When you log in, you'll have two separate places that you can go, either to the creative library, the painting library, where you're going to learn the tutorials, or you can go to the business library, which has all kinds of training about marketing, email lists, pricing your work, packaging and shipping, all the things that have to do with having an art business on the internet. And I'm going to continue to add to that library every month. So right now, the creative community has kind of evolved and changed, and we do this for a while and then we do that for a while, and everything gets saved in a library. But in the past, I'd separated business from painting. And I keep going back to the fact that so many of the members that are there are either completely ready for the business part, and I know it will help them tremendously to have that information, or they're getting to that point. So the majority of the members are not just learning how to put paint on a canvas. They've been doing it for a little while and they're ready to move to the next step. So if that is where you are and that's what you're interested in, then that's the perfect place for you. Out of all the things that I offer, the creative community is the best place to have the combination of creativity and business help. So if you've taken any of my business classes in the past or been in any of my groups or courses that I've done, all of that is now in that business library. And now each month, the way it works is every Friday, there is new information added to either the creative library or the business library. So you have a schedule. The first Friday of the month will be some kind of full painting tutorial. the next Friday, second Friday of the month, is either going to be something like sculpting or a technique for painting or even some sort of creative mindset lesson. Then the third week will be a business topic, some sort of tutorial helping you with business. So for this month, we did email lists, how to build your email list, because that's super important. And then on the fourth Friday, then we have our live question and answer time. And we also are not dependent on Facebook anymore. So we used to have the community part where everybody talked to each other, and I did all of my live videos and trainings and stuff like that in a Facebook group. We no longer have to do that. So everything is hosted on the website in one easy place to get to. If there's going to be a live event, if I'm doing a Q&A like we're doing tomorrow, it's going to be on my website. And I give you a link, and you just go there and show up, and there's a chat box, and you can talk to me and I can talk to you, and it works really, really well. We also have a new community on my website that everyone can share their artwork, and they can post pictures of what they're doing and ask questions and things like that. Let's see, Kim is asking, do you also do a once a month tutorial membership or just the creative community membership? I do also have a club, which you just get one painting tutorial a month on the first Friday of the month. And it's called the Creative Club. It's $20 a month. And it is also over on my website if you're interested in that. It's not closing, but the creative community is. Barbara said she loves the new website. I'm so glad to hear that. Let's see. I wish I could see comments better than this. So I don't see any questions. You're welcome, Kim. I can give you that link if you're interested in the club. So I have a lot of different options for ways to learn how to paint. I have workshops. I have the Beginners Painting Club. I have, what else do I have? A palette knife course. So all those teach you about painting, just painting. But if you're interested in painting plus business, then that is where the creative community comes in. I'm trying to reply and I'm having trouble. Okay, I'm going to put a link here for the club. Okay, I'm back. Sometimes I miss comments and questions, and I apologize if I'm not seeing yours, but hopefully I have answered everyone. Yeah, I can see the club link now, so that's good. All right, so sometimes I think I don't explain what's included with the creative community well enough, but everything that I've ever taught in a class that is on the internet is included in the creative community, plus all the business stuff. So that's why it's different. It's not the same as just a painting club either. So I'm also, when I said the second week of the month we're going to be doing something creative, I'm going to be adding in some new elements, some new ideas like sculpting, maybe some jewelry making, maybe some adding stitch work to your art, adding some watercolor information in there. We've done some work with things like pastels and watercolor in the past, but not very much. We've also done some collage, mixed media type things, but we'll have a full painting tutorial, and then that second week, we're going to dabble in some other fun ideas just to keep us creative and inspired. Because a lot of times when we're painting, it is a little bit, you can get in a rut, and it's a little bit hard to stay motivated and keep going. And so sometimes for me, if I move and do something a little bit different, like sculpting, or just add a little bit of some stitch work, or we've done some work with ink and just unique ideas for tools with drawing with ink and things like that, that really helps a lot. So that's what the creative community is: a creative library full of past tutorials, palette knife course, palette knife painting, brush painting, acrylic painting, some water mixable oils. We've done some pastel work. We've done watercolor work. We've done mixed media, collage, and we're going to continue to add to all of that creative fun. But we're also going to add in help with your mindset, help with starting a business, and all of that is included in your monthly fee. So let's see. Nita said, I love these little floral paintings, but I've pulled out my palette knife for the leaves. Yeah, that's a good idea. Okay. Let's see if I can see any new comments or questions. And I'm probably going to just go because I think I've been going for about an hour. And I don't see any other questions, but I hope that you've enjoyed this. These turned out really cute, didn't they? And you learned something new, even if you can't join the creative community. I hope you'll keep following and learning. I have a new podcast episode that you can head over and listen to if you would like to. Everything that I do is hosted on my website. So if you go to artbymandahilburn.com, you can find the podcast. You can find my blog where I have some free tutorials on there. You can find the club. You can find workshops, individual lessons, and I also offer one-on-one consultations. So if you already have a business and you have questions about what you should do next, or you don't know what your next move should be, then I have some time set aside every month where I fill some slots for one-on-one coaching or consulting, if that's what you want to call it. And I've also got some things in my shop, that merchandise that would make really great gifts for Christmas. There is a link there. You can go over to my licensing company and order prints of some of my work. So there's all kinds of things there that you can find and be inspired by, or just go and look at just for the fun of it. And I'll put a link there just to my website in general. But thank you guys for being here and for painting with me this week. And I've enjoyed it so much. Thanks for being here and commenting and sharing with others. And if you know someone who's crafty, who is interested in turning their hobby into a business, share this with them and let them know about it. And or just send them a message or whatever and let them know about the creative community, because I believe that it's a great place to learn, and I would love to help them or help you if you're interested too. But thanks for being here, and I will see you guys later. Bye.